Grandstand office, Ron Harris, Kathy McDonald. Parade Marshal brings the field to the post for tonight's first race. First half of the daily double exacta and trifecta wagering. No driver changes or scratches in the first. Second race, scratch 7, Abercrow Deborah. 1 is Flower Cart, owned by Chip Noble, Ralph Conley Jr., and Jim Burnett. Ryan Holton drives. 2, Get Along Gretchen, owned by Virgil and Linda Hensley Hall with Bob Harper. 3, Sugar Run, owned by Paul Simpson with David Hawk. 4, Tammy Renee Q, owned by Alan Quinn with David Myers. 5, Melissa's Dragon, owned by Andre Farm with Brad Hanners. 6, Station Stevie, owned by Earl Engel with Jack Daly. 7, Snooty Samantha, owned by Charles Droge with Mike Welder. Number 8 is Biting Remark, owned by Fred Schroeder. Charlie Conrad will be in the sulky. Field for the first. Second race, scratch 7, Abercrow Deborah. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Sugar Run between horses takes the lead. Get Along Gretchen along the rail. Here's Station Stevie up on the outside on the favorite. Flower Cart along the rail. Followed by Tammy Renee Q. Melissa's Dragon is in the center. As they make their way to the first turn, Snooty Samantha and Biting Remark. A little bit rough and jumping off strut on the outside. Get Along Gretchen. Here comes the 1, Flower Cart, with a rush up to challenge Dave Hawkins. Sugar Run for the lead as they race by the opening quarter in 29-4. Fillies are in parade, racing past the stands, and Flower Cart is brushed to the front. Flower Cart quickly draws off by 2. Sugar Run second, followed by Station Stevie third. After that, Tammy Renee Q. Melissa's Dragon grinding uncovers. She sets sail from the rail. Snooty Samantha Biting Remark, and at the end it's Get Along Gretchen. They're at the half-mile pole. Flower Cart bouncing right along, leads away. Melissa's Dragon is on the attack. They're at the half in 58-3. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Flower Cart on top by a half a length. Melissa's Dragon rolls up on the outside. Second along the rail, Sugar Run is into third. Tammy Renee Q being carted up on the outside. Fourth, Station Stevie, nowhere to go in fifth. Up on the far outside, Biting Remark, Snooty Samantha, Get Along Gretchen, hub to hub into three quarters. Flower Cart by a length. Melissa's Dragon still on the outside, 128. Moving around the far turn, Flower Cart on top. Sugar Run regains second. Melissa's Dragon flattens out a bit to third. Station Stevie fourth as the field straightens away. Flower Cart brings them on home. Flower Cart on top by a widening 5. Sugar Run with Melissa's Dragon. Deep stretch here is a rocking chair drive for Ryan Holton. It's Flower Cart. Sugar Run, Melissa's Dragon will finish third. In the winner circle, Ryan Holton in the Flower Cart. 3-year-old bay filly by Abercrombie out of Amaryllis. Owned by Chip Noble, Ralph Conley, and Jim Burnett, all of Ohio. Trained by Chip Noble, driven tonight to an easy win by Ryan Holton, covering the mountain 157-3. Number 1, Flower Cart, the winner of tonight's first race. 1-3 exact, the double Hugh Downs payoff, 40-40. The trifecta, $139 even. Number 1, Dream On Julie, owned by Craig Lanston. Mike Wilder drives. 2, First of March, owned by Rockwell Fritz with Jeff Smith. Number 3 is Sister Sam, owned by Jane Ferrian with Brad Hanners. 4, Towner's Tootsie, owned by James Foley, Sandy Beatty aboard. 5 is Show Me Love, owned by Kurt Loney with David Hawk. 6, Muskoka Opal, owned by Donnie Conrad, Fred Schroeder with Charlie Conrad. 7 is Abercrow Deborah, owned by Mark. Scratch number, I'll get it right yet. Scratch the 7, Abercrow Deborah. And number 8 is KC's Little Sis, owned by James and Sybil Shrazam. Mike Metters, Randy Tharps in the sulky. Scratch number 7, Abercrow Deborah. 6 minutes till pause. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Show Me Love between horses takes the lead. Sister Slam, middle of the racetrack. There goes KC's Little Sis with a rush on the far outside and First of March along the rail. Speeding onto the top turn, Dream On Julie. After that, it's Towner's Tootsie and Muskoka Opal. They're grabbing leather now because the Hawkman is flying high right now with Show Me Love. She rolls to command as they move by the opening quarter-mile pole. First of March is in there second as they drive by the opening quarter in no time recorded. Past the stands of the half-mile pole. Show Me Love leads the way. First of March, the pocket sitter in second. Dream on Julie third. Long mile for KC's Lil Sis up on the outside. Towner's Tootsie. Nearest the rail, Sister Slam and Muskoka Opal will come from the back of the pack. Field of 7 double-decker at the half-mile pole. Show Me Love gets them by there. They straighten out down the backstretch. Show Me Love trying to make every polo anyone continues to lead the way. It's Show Me Love on top by a length and a half. Long mile on the outside, KC's Lil Sis. First to March along the rail, Muskoka Opal drives up on the far outside. Towner's Tootsie is in between horses. Dream on Julie along the rail. Sister Slam on the outside. It's Show Me Love who takes them by 3/4. Show Me Love leads the field by 2. Here's Muskoka Opal driving up on the far outside second. KC's Lil Sis is in the center. Sister Slam on the far outside as they move to the head of the stretch. Show Me Love brings them on home. Muskoka Opal still closing down the middle of the racetrack. Up on the far outside, Sister Slam. The Hawkman draws the sword. Show Me Love. Muskoka Opal, maybe not good enough. Nope, Show Me Love, wire to wire. Result of race 2 now official. Here's the 5, Show Me Love, owned by Kurt Loning and Davis Love. Trained by Mark Laffin, driven tonight by Dave Hawk. No time recorded. Number 5, Show Me Love, the winner. The 5-6 exacta, $29.40. The try, $223.60. $223.60. 1-5 daily double, $20.80. Windows are now open on race 3, the Ohio Sire Stakes for 3-year-old pacing fillies. First of 2 divisions, the purse $20,300 and a field of 9. And they'll report to the post in 15 minutes at 8:13. Tap down and race. Here's the field for tonight's third race. Superfecta wagering Ohio Sire Stakes, first division. Number 1, Noble Misty, owned by James Vest, driven by Dean Gillespie. 2, Happy Reverie, owned by the Doug Ackerman Stables with D.R. Ackerman. 3, Tiff Sarcophagus, owned by Ron and Arlene Hughes with Eric Ledford. Number 4, Debbie's Bud Light, owned by Terry Gillen with Dave Hawk aboard. 5 is Scoot and Annie, owned by Ann Kirk with David Myers. 6 is Civil Suit, owned by Nina Sams with Brad Hanners. 7, Ideal Gigi, owned by Howard and Doris Armstrong with Jody Essing. 8 is True Tucson, owned by the Bad Boy Stable with Terry Holton. Number 9, Rapid Roxy, owned by Donald Elmer. And Brian Brown. Mike Wilder will be in the sulky. Field for race 3, first of 2 Ohio Sire Stakes for 3-year-old pacing fillies. Go. They're off in pacing. Scoot and Annie between horses takes the lead. Civil Suit. Here comes Ideal Gigi with a rush on the outside from third and Noble Misty fourth. Tiff's Sarcophagus parked and driving on the outside from fifth as they make their way to the top turn. Happy Reverie followed by Debbie's Bud Light. Trailers are True Tucson and Rapid Roxy as they drive to the quarter-mile pole, and Ideal Gigi overcomes her 7-post to zing them by the opening quarter in a fast 27-4. Past the stands to the half-mile pole. Ideal Gigi on top. Tiff Sarcophagus right alongside, and this is going to be war. Around the clubhouse turn, Tiff Sarcophagus up on the outside, and Ideal Gigi along the rail. Civil Suit is licking her chops right now. A gap of 3 in 2. Scoot and Annie. 5 more Noble Misty. Happy Reverie is up on the outside. Debbie's Bud Light. True Tucson and Rapid Roxy. 55-3 up the backstretch. Ideal Gigi puts away Tiff Sarcophagus. Little less than 3/8 of a mile to pace. Ideal Gigi continues to lead the way. Civil Suit is in the second. Scoot and Annie third. Happy Reverie is fourth. Moving up on the far outside, Debbie's Bud Light. True Tucson, Noble Misty, Tiff Sarcophagus gives way. Rapid Roxy, the distant trailer, 125-1. A murderous tempo as they move to the top of the stretch. Ideal Gigi faced and met every challenge so far, she's got two more to face inside the final 16th. Here comes Scootin' Annie up on the outside to get the lead. Ideal Gigi is fighting back. Ideal Gigi and Scootin' Annie, 2-1 here, and whoa, you call it real tight. Unofficial winner of the third, number 7, Ideal Gigi. 3-year-old bay filly by Nuclear Siren out of 8 Jars Gigi. Owned by Howard and Doris Armstrong of Connorsville, Indiana. Trained by Joe Essig. Driven wire to wire by Jody Essig. The cover of the mile and a lifetime best 155. They do not get any tougher than she is. 7 Ideal Gigi, the winner of tonight's third race. 7-5 Exacta, 36.40. Superfecta, 26.35.80. I'd like to welcome the group from the American Diabetes Association to the winner's circle to meet and greet Jody Essig and Ideal Gigi and make the Ohio Sire Stakes cooler presentation. Windows are now up and on the fourth. 2 Carol G, driver Ryan Holton. Ryan Holton driving 2 Carol G. Fifth and sixth races, no program changes. Post time 8:34. Down in the third, Noble Misty was 7th, Happy Reverie 6th, Tiff Sarcophagus 9th. Debbie's Bud Light 5th, Scootin' Annie was 2nd, Civil Suit 3rd, Ideal Gigi the Number 1 is Cactus Ann, owned by Tony Clark and Tom Tharps, driven by Randy Tharps. 2 is Carol G, owned by Jack Ader, with a driver change to Ryan Holton. 3 Cambion, owned by Donnie Conrad, reinsman Charlie Conrad. 4 Sea Power, owned by Maple Valley Farm with Bob Harper. 5 is Jan Scooter, owned by Harry and Iris Horowitz with Debbie Rucker aboard. 6 Center Ridge Runner, owned by George Howery with Scott Mogan. 7 is Whack Attack, owned by Allison Hensler. Jody Essig will be in the sulky. Field for the fourth, Ryan Holton. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Whack Attack on the far outside takes the lead. Followed by Jan Scooter, middle of the racetrack, and along the rail, Cambion. They're down the backstretch. After that comes Carol G and Cactus Ann. Sea Power and Center Ridge Runner as they speed to the quarter-mile pole, and Whack Attack has grabbed the racetrack for Jody Essig. Jan Scooter flashing speed tonight is going to set the pocket, tucked in their third, Cambion. Driving by the opening quarter in a solid 28 seconds flat. Past the stands to the half-mile pole. Whack Attack leads away by 2. Jan Scooter cuts her own mile in second. Cambion a close-up third. Past the stands, Carol G, fourth, Cactus Ann in fifth. Sea Power is sixth, and Center Ridge Runner is seventh on the outside. Around the paddock turn of the half-mile pole, Whack Attack, trying to make every pole a winning one, continues to lead the way. Whack Attack a length and a half. Jan Scooter second, 58-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. The field begins to converge in on the pace setter. Whack Attack better be good from here. Cambion rolls up on the outside second. Down the backstretch, Jan Scooter is into third. Sweeping up on the far outside from 4, Sea Power. Nearest the rail, Center Ridge Runner. Carol G between horses. Cactus Ann is up on the outside. Wide open here as they move into three quarters. Cambion on the outside goes on by. Whack Attack and Sea Power's up on the far outside. 127-2. Field turns for home. Cambion has got the lead. Sea Power picks up the chase second. We're down to these two. Eighth of a mile remaining. Charlie Conrad draws the sword on Cambiant. Sea Power's up on the outside. Carol G and Cactus Ann. Deep stretch. It's Cambiant. Sea Power second. Carol G third. A 3-year-old bay filly by Camtastic out of Ambient. Or in court in Indiana by Donnie Conrad. Trained by Julie Russell. Driven tonight by Charlie Conrad. Covering the mile here in 156 and 1. Number 3, Cambiant, the winner of tonight's 4th race. 3-4 exacta, $20 even. Windows are now open on race 5. Field of 9, no program changes in the 5th. First half of the twin trifecta, about 3,000 in the carryover. Trophy being presented by the University of Kentucky Alumni Association. Post time in 15 minutes at 8:54. And 1. 15 till post. Here comes the field for tonight's 5th race, welcoming the University of Kentucky alumni. Just about 3,000 in tonight's twin trifecta carryover. 1, She's a Jockey, owned by Alice Kidd with Jody Essing. 2, Lady Storm, owned by Amy Michalakis, driven by Randy Tharps. 3, Earn a Livin', owned by Lowell Prickett with Mark Evers. 4, Velvet Viking, owned by Mark Heath, Mike Riley aboard. 5, Jazzy Jackie Ann, owned by driver Mark Klotz and Janet Darr. Number 6, Aim Too High, owned by Donald Peters with Bob Harper. Number 7, My Scotch Mist, owned by Stephen Watkins and Danny McCulloch, driven by Mike Welder. 8 is Brooklet's Dolly, owned by Ralph Garrett and Christina Gallops with Brad Hanners. 9, My Belle Michelle, owned by Paul Gillen-Walter. Ryan Holton will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time. After the twin trifecta moving through the paddock. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Jazzy Jackie Ann takes the lead. My Scotch Mist is up on the outside, and She's a Jockey along the rail. Lady Storm takes the seat in 4th. They're down the backstretch. Earn a Livin' after that. It's Velvet Viking. Aim Too High. Brooklet's Deli and My Belle Michelle. Rolling to the quarter-mile pole. They're jammed up in behind, forging to the front. My Scotch Mist. Back on the attack, Jazzy Jackie Ann with She's a Jockey. Moving by the opening quarter in a moderate 29 1/5. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Driving away on top from the outside, Jazzy Jackie Ann by a length. My Scotch Mist is in the 2nd. She's a Jockey 3rd. Lady Storm starts the action from mid-pack 4th. After that, Earn a Livin' 5th. Around the clubhouse turn, in the 6th, Velvet Viking racing 7th, Aim Too High. My Belle Michelle comes through along the rail for those vacated spots. Brooklet's Dolly is 9th on the outside. They're at the half in 59 4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Jazzy Jackie Ann continues to lead the way. Lady Storm swings up on the outside 2nd. My Scotch Mist is in the 3rd, and She's a Jockey 4th. Earn a Livin' ready to come 3 wide off cover. Moving in between horses, Velvet Viking along the rail, My Belle Michelle. Aim Too High and Brooklet's Dolly. Racing by 3/4. Jazzy Jackie Ann leads the way in 129 3. Moving around the far turn, Jazzy Jackie Ann. Earn a Livin' is up on the outside. Lady Storm is in between horses. Along the rail, My Scotch Mist. Field moves to the head of the stretch. Jazzy Jackie Ann brings them on home. Earn a Livin', middle of the racetrack. My Scotch Mist. Lady Storm is in the center. Brooklet's Dolly is up on the far outside as Jazzy Jackie Ann. My Scotch Mist together. Here comes My Scotch Mist. 8-year-old brown mare by Armbro Belmont out of My Scotch Shot. Owned by Stephen Watkins and Danny McCulloch of Sydney and West Liberty. Trained by Dan McCulloch. Driven tonight by Mike Welder to cover the mile here in 159 2. 7, My Scotch Mist, the winner. on Tucson Gwenny. Owned by Asum Paysum Stables, Lisa Grubik, Jeff Recker, and Ned Hodkinson with Jody Essig. Number 2 is Moretta, owned by Mike Metters, driven by Brad Hanners. 3 Kings First Lady, owned by Barbara King, and the driver is David Myers. 4 Merrymaker, owned by Russell Hare and Woody Woodward with Ryan Holton aboard. 5 Kells of Gold, owned by Jake Shaw and Robert Pryor with Randy Tharps. 6 Hills Warfeather, owned by Tony Ware with David Hawk. 7 Sassy Abu, owned by Kim Godfrey, Mary Wolf, and Larry Coder with Bob Harper. 8 Heat Wave, owned by the Morris brothers. Mike Wilder will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time. Gate is underway. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Kells of Gold takes the lead. Hills Warfeather right alongside in Tucson. Gwenny along the rail. A gap of 5 to Moretto, who looks a little bit rough in there, 4th. Driving up on the outside, Kings First, Lady to 5th. Around the top turn, Merrymaker, Sassy Abu, and Heat Wave as they drive to the first quarter. Hills Warfeather back on her game tonight to the opening quarter, leads the way. Followed by Tucson Gwenny in second. They open up 27-3. Past the stands, they roll to the half-mile pole, and Hills Warfeather's bouncing along with a length and a half advantage. Tucson Gwenny stalking second. Past the stands, Kells of Gold third. Moretta's ready to swing from the outside, 4th, and here she comes as Kells of Gold will give her cover. After that, King's First Lady, Merrymaker. Sassy Abu between horses. Heat Wave is up on the outside. Action brewing at the half-mile pole. Hills Warfeather in 57. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Hills Warfeather on top. Driving up on the outside, Kells of Gold second. Tucson Gwenny in third. The big mare's got live cover now, Moretta. Down the backstretch, Merrymaker up on the outside. King's First Lady, Sassy Abu, and Heat Wave. They're into 3 quarters. Hills Warfeather continues to lead the way. Tucson Gwenny in second. Kells of Gold. Moretta's got to come 3 wide up the rail. Merrymaker, 126-1. Around the far turn, Hills Warfeather continues to lead the way. Hills Warfeather, 3 parts of a length. Tucson Gwenny exits the pocket. Merrymaker is up on the far outside. Third, Hills Warfeather is under confident handling. Hills Warfeather by 2. Tucson Gwenny in second. Heat Wave closing late. Hills Warfeather tight for second. Number 6, Hills Warfeather. 4-year-old bay mare by Tudor Scooter out of Warpath, Almahurst, owned in Dublin by Tony Ware. Trained by Alex Spence. Honorary equine maintenance engineer tonight is Bruce Soulsby. Number 8, Heat Wave, was up second. 1, Tucson Gwenny third. And number 4, Merrymaker, was 4th. Result of race 6 is now official. 6-8 exacta, 135.80. The try, 685.80. Windows are now up and on tonight's 7th race. Jack Daly driving 1, Sun Devil Express. 376, the winning numbers in the early pick 3. $759.60. Sassy Abu was 8th and Heat Wave was 2nd. Number 1, Sun Devil Express, owned by Robert Wilson and George Villette, and a driver change to Jack Daly. 2, Believability, owned by David Ehrenberg II with Charlie Neff. 3 is Almahurst Autumn, owned by Bruce Trogdon with Ralph Lunsford. 4, Sweet Iris, owned by Dirk Steinman. Sandy Beatty will be aboard. Number 5 is Miss Predator, owned by Roger Wheeler with David Hawk. 6 is Matching Rocky, owned by Asum Paysum Stables and Jeff Rector with Jody Essig. 7 is Side Court, owned by Big Chuck Grubbs. Brad Hanners, 8, Renfield Sweet, owned by Cora Norman with Randy Tharps and 9, Jory. Leased by Judy Nixon and Norma Boggs. Mike Wilder will be in the sulky. That is the field here. For tonight's 7th race, Jack Daly driving 1. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Matching Rocky inside quarter out for the lead. Sun Devil Express along the rail. Jumping off stride further back in the field. That was the 5, Miss Predator. As they drive with a quarter-mile pole. Side court on the outside gets the lead. Matching Rocky moves in to be second. The gray settles into third. Elmhurst Autumn. Quarter pole bound. Sun Devil Express is into fourth. Racing fifth. Believability after that, it's Sweet Iris. Followed by Renfield Sweet, Jory, and the early breaker, Miss Predator. She has caught the field. Opening up here in 28 1/5. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole, and Side Court leads the way. Side Court from Matching Rocky and the Roan, Elmhurst Autumn. After that, Sun Devil Express driving up on the outside, Sweet Iris. Underway from the back of the pack, Renfield Sweet and Jory as they hit the half-mile pole, Believability. And at the end, it's Miss Predator reaching the half in 59 2. Up the backstretch. Bouncing right along its Side Court. She's there a length. Matching Rocky on her heels in second. Sweet Iris moving up on the outside, steadily third. Nowhere to go for the Roan. That's Elmhurst Autumn on the far outside. Renfield Sweet. Here's Jory, back of the pack, Believability. Sun Devil Express got shuffled to Tucson, and at the end, it's Miss Predator. Hub to hub by 3/4 in 129 1. Moving around the far turn, Side Court digs down deep. Sweet Iris right alongside in second. Cocked, locked, and ready to rock, Matching Rocky. Driving up on the far outside, Renfield Sweet there into the stretch. Side Court has the lead. She's being flanked. Matching Rocky closing a ton. Here's Sweet Iris up on the outside. It's Sweet Iris, Matching Rocky, and Side Court third. Tapped down in race 7, Sun Devil Express track. Filly and Mare open for $7,000. Exacta and trifecta wagering. Number 1 is All Out of Love, owned by James Borchers, driven by Brad Hanners. 2, Mudge's Molly, owned by Martin Racing with David Hawk. 3, Fax Queen, owned by Fred Schroeder, and the driver is Charlie Conrad. 4, Noble Jewel, owned by John Legros with Jody Essig. 5, Quick Dispatch has been scratched. 6 is Waiting for You, owned by Hall Investment Company. David Myers will be in the sulky. Field 4, race 8 is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. All Out of Love takes the lead. Mudge's Molly between horses. Fax Queen, Noble Jewel, and Waiting for You. Racing down the backstretch. Mudge's Molly forges to the front. All Out of Love moves in to be second. Followed by Fax Queen in third. Long Shot, Noble Jewel, and Waiting for You. Seating arrangements are complete. Mudge's Molly will conduct this one on the front end for David Hawk. Moving by the opening quarter in 27 4. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Mudge's Molly, 4 on a nickel favorite, leads the way. All Out of Love a closer second, followed by Fax Queen, Noble Jewel, and Waiting for You, as they've got about 5/8 of a mile to pace. Mudge's Molly continues to lead the way. Fax Queen is up on the outside. All Out of Love will stay the pocket. Here's Noble Jewel to the outside and Waiting for You at the half, and a sharp 57 up the backstretch. Still in command, Mudge's Molly. She's been there every step of the way. All Out of Love regains second by a nose. Right alongside Fax Queen in third. Noble Jewel is up on the outside and Waiting for You. As they near the final quarter, Mudge's Molly trying to make every pole winning one stays there. Fax Queen still attacking on the rim. All Out of Love is now in the pocket. After that, Waiting for You. Wide and driving on the far outside. Noble Jewel in 126. Wide open here as they move to the 7/8. Mudge's Molly by 2. All Out of Love second. Waiting for You is waiting for some racing room. They're fanned out 5 wide in the drive. Mudge's Molly, All Out of Love. Noble Jewel is up on the outside and Waiting for You, the passing lane. It's Mudge's Molly, Noble Jewel second, Waiting for You third. The unofficial winner of tonight's 8th race, 2, Mudge's Molly. 4-year-old bay mare by Incredible Finale out of Mudge's Shannon. Owned by Martin Racing of Germantown, trained by Darrell Collins. Driven tonight by Dave Hawk. To cover them out here in 155 and 2. Number 2, Mudge's Molly, the winner of tonight's 8th race. 2-4 exacta, $38.80. The try, $69.80. Windows are now open on race 9. No changes in tonight's 9th race, second division of the Ohio Sire Stakes for 3-year-old pacing fillies. Post time will be at 10:10. Tapped down in race 8, All Out of Love 4th, Mudge's Molly the winner. Fax Queen was 5th, Noble Jewel 2nd. Quick Dispatch was scratched, Waiting for You 3rd. Here comes the field for tonight's 9th race. 6 minutes till post time. Ohio Sire Stakes for 3-year-old pacing fillies. Number 1, Baroque Bogart, owned by Tanya and Ted Parker. Jody Essig drives. 2 is Love 40, owned by Thomas Lamb and Dorothy Miller with Alan Henninger. Number 3 is Copper in Tin, owned by Bill Aldrich Jr., and the rangeman is David Hawk. Number 4, Rocky Surf, owned by Phil Baldoff, Martin Yoder, Angela Oliverio, and John Neck, driven by Brad Hanners. Number 5, Face the Facts, owned by Danny Perdue, Scott Boer, and Conrad Boer with Mike Wilder. Number 6, Princess Tradition, owned by the Sugar Knoll Farm with Jim Spadagliano. Number 7 is Dare Me, owned by Richard Waterman with Jim Moenix. Number 8, Rumble Seat Rhonda, owned by Marilyn Guild, Jody Trutt, Doug Guild, and Dan Mosier. David Myers will be in the sulky. No changes in the 9th. Starting gate is underway. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Princess Tradition and Rumble Seat Rhonda on the far outside. Copper and Tin, Baroque Bogart on the rail. They're down the backstretch. Love 40 takes a seat in behind these dueling leaders to 5th. Rocky Surf is next, followed by Face the Facts, and Dare Me is up on the outside. Speeding to the quarter-mile pole, Princess Tradition from the outside gets the lead. Copper and Tin second, speeding back along the rail, Baroque Bogart and Rumble Seat Rhonda, 27 flat. Quickly by the stands to the half-mile pole. Princess Tradition up on the outside now, brushes to the front. Copper and Tin second with a rush on the outside. Rumble Seat Rhonda from 3rd. Rocky Surf was off strut at the back of the pack. Down to 7 around the clubhouse, turn to the half-mile pole. Rumble Seat Rhonda, the big mare on the outside. The little fillies right alongside in second. Princess Tradition there at the half-mile pole, 55 and 4 up the backstretch. 3 parts of a length for Princess Tradition. At her wheel disc in second, Rumble Seat Rhonda. Stalking Copper and Tin, ranging up on the outside, Love 40. Baroque Bogart is now 5th, far outside, Dare Me. After that, Face the Facts. And the 4, Rocky Surf. 7 are wide open here. Hub to hub into 3/4, Rumble Seat Rhonda on the outside. Princess Tradition fighting back in 125 and 1. Around the far turn, Princess Tradition on top by a nose. Rumble Seat Rhonda alongside in second. Here comes Dare Me up on the outside. Any one of 7 could win this one. Straightening away with an 1/8 of a mile to drive. On the far outside, Dare Me now gets the lead. Copper and Tin, Baroque Bogart is up on the far outside. 21 to 1 shot's going to upset him. It's going to be Dare Me, Baroque Bogart, and Rumble Seat Rhonda re-rallies for 3rd. Here comes 7, Dare Me. 3-year-old bay filly by Daria 2 out of Bedmate. Owned in White House, Ohio by Richard Waterman. Ran and trained by Jim Moenix. To cover them out here in 155 and 2 and establish a solid lifetime best. Number 7, Dare Me, the unofficial winner of tonight's 9th race. Here comes the field for tonight's featured 10th for the older fillies and mares and a $10,000 purse. No show wagering in here. This race sponsored by Trader Bud's Westside Dodge. 1, Steph Kress, owned by Kress Farms, Brad Hanners drives. 2 is Illegally Parked, owned by Dan Russo and Robert Parker with David Hawk. 3, Robin Lag, owned by Shakira Patel and Jack Franklin. 4, Mudge's Elisa Gale, owned by Martin Racing with Jody Essig. And the 5, Perfect Gesture, owned by Jim Stambaugh. Dallas Miller will be in the sulky. Field for the 10th. Post time in 6 minutes. Starting gate is underway. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Steph Kress takes the lead. Robin Lag, middle of the racetrack between the dueling leaders. Illegally Parked into third. Down the backstretch, Budges, Elisa Gale, and Perfect Gesture. Steph Kress and Robin Lag. Robin Lag is already grabbing leather as Brad Hanners has got the top with Steph Kress. Robin Lag's going to get punished in here. Into the quarter-mile pole, Illegally Parked, Mudges, Elisa Gale, and Perfect Gesture, 27-1. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Steph Kress will try to gear him down now. Steph Kress is out on top by an easy length and a half. Illegally Parked in second. The big mare is third. Mudges, Elisa Gale. With a rush on the outside, Perfect Gesture, and Robin Lag will come again. Around the clubhouse turn to the half-mile pole. Steph Kress will try to make every pole a winning one. Here comes the challenger up on the outside, Perfect Gesture. They're at the half-mile pole in 57-2. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Field is now side by side and stride for stride. Steph Kress, 3 parts of a length. Perfect Gesture grinding uncovered to second. Illegally Parked is staying along the rail third. Ranging up on the outside, Mudges, Elisa Gale, and the roan Robin Lag. Compact field blitzing by 3/4, Steph Kress. Game on the rail leads 125-4. Around the far turn, Steph Kress by a half a length. Still on the outside, Perfect Gesture. With a rush on the outside, Mudges, Elisa Gale. Cocked, locked, and ready to rock, Illegally Parked, and Robin Lag. They're into the stretch. Steph Kress brings them on home. Mudges, Elisa Gale sweeps to the front on the far outside and bids these girls good night. Mudges, Elisa Gale. Steph Kress was second. In the winner's circle is Mudges, Elisa Gale. 7-year-old bay mare by Good to See You out of Mudges Shannon. Owned in Germantown by Martin Racing. Trained by Daryl Collins. Driven by Jody Essig. Covering the mile here in 154-4 for Mudges, Elisa Gale, the winner of tonight's 10th race. Tap down, 2:35:14. And the time of the mile was 154-4. Windows are now open on race 11, scratch 5, Deep Blue. David Myers will drive 6, Bikini Bird. Number 1, Ann's Magical Log, owned by Ann and Virgil Parks, driven by Del S. Miller. Number 2, Pocket Edition, leased by Sherry Myers with Jody Essig. 3, Sensational Sherry, owned by Harold Farvell and Randy Macho Man Savage with Charlie Conrad. 4 is Kate, owned by Effie and Betty Clark with Brad Hanners aboard. 5, Deep Blue Scratched. 6, Bikini Bird, owned by Doug Parker and Harry Berger. Driver change 2, David Myers. 7, Johanna, owned by Bob Griffith with Sandy Beatty. And 8, Tucson Princess, owned by Richard Stevens and Sal Nacera. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Field for race 11. It's now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Bikini Bird takes the lead. Tucson Princess up on the far outside in Johanna. Down the backstretch, Ann's Magical Lot and Sensational Sherry. To the turn, Pocket Edition, and at the end the trailer is Kate. Scrambling for command of the quarter-mile pole. Tucson Princess has got the lead. Bikini Bird is in the second. Sensational Sherry's up on the outside, followed by the free-legged mare Johanna. After that, it's the rail filly Ann's Magical Log. They open up here in 28 seconds flat. Trying to make this a best 2 out of 3 on the outside. Sensational Sherry now gets the lead. Sensational Sherry brushes to the front. Tucson Princess second, Bikini Bird to third. Johanna fourth, and after that it's Ann's Magical Log to the outside. Underway, Pocket Edition and Kate. Around the clubhouse, turn to the half-mile pole. Sensational Sherry leads in a good 57-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Bouncing right along, it's Sensational Sherry. Ann's Magical Log couldn't pick up any coverage. She's got to do the dirty work herself. Tucson Princess, Pocket Edition toward the rail, Bikini Bird. Johanna's up on the outside, and Kate, they're double-deckered into three-quarters. Sensational Sherry and Ann's Magical Log moving by three-quarters, side by side and stride for stride in 127. They'll pace the turn and come on home. Sensational Sherry. Ann's Magical Log is still attacking on the outside. Tucson Princess stays the pocket. Pocket Edition is up on the far outside. They're fanned out. 7 wide in the drive. Sensational Sherry. Ann's Magical Log on the outside now gets the lead. It's Ann's Magical Log, Pocket Edition, and Bikini Bird. Ann's Magical Log, Pocket Edition second, Bikini Bird third. Ann's Magical Log, a 4-year-old roll mare by Log out of Azalea Elmhurst. Owned by Ann and Virgil Parks of Marengo, trained by Ron Steck, driven tonight by Dallas Miller. To cover the mile here in 156 and 3-1, Ann's Magical Log. The unofficial winner, 6 Bikini Bird, was third. 8 Tucson Princess was fourth. One-two exacta $14.60. Trifecta $200 even. Windows are now up on race 12. Superfecta wagering, David Myers driving 9 Ray's Cat. Post time at 11:07. Here's a rundown of race 11. Ann's Magical Log was first. The wagering number 1 Carbohydrate, owned by Ann Hildebrand, Brad Hanners drives. 2 Chasin' Jenna, owned by Charles and Michelle Kelly with Mike Wilder. 3 Otean, owned by Daryl Sams, and the driver is John Barr. 4 Miss Super Night, owned by Edwin Ellis and Sandy Beatty. Number 5 My Flirt, owned by Howard Wallace, and the driver is Bob Harper. 6 Grand Scooter, owned by Stephen Hettinger with Dallas Miller. 7 is Flash Paper, owned by John Perrin, and the driver is Jack Daly. Number 8 is Tracer, owned by Joanne Parker with Jody Essig. 9 Ray's Cat, owned by Mark Laffin with a driver change to David Myers. Number 10 Pan's Peanut Butter, owned by Fred Merriman. David Hawk will be in the sulky. Field for race 12, David Myers to drive the 9. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Grand Scooter on the far outside, followed by Carbohydrate and My Flirt. Chasin' Jenna along the rail. Up on the far outside comes Tracer. They're down the backstretch. Pan's Peanut Butter is next from out of the second tier, followed by Miss Super Night. As they drive to the quarter-mile pole, Flash Paper, and at the end, the trailer is Ray's Cat. Racing to the opening quarter-mile pole. Driving away on top, it's Carbohydrate by an easy length and a good 28 seconds flat. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Here comes Pan's Peanut Butter up on the outside. A challenge for and now get the lead. Pan's Peanut Butter on top by 2. Carbohydrate is in the second. Grand Scooter comes to the outside third. Chasin' Jenna fourth. My Flirt is fifth. Around the clubhouse turn. Moving away on top, it's the odds-on favorite, a length and a half, Pan's Peanut Butter. Moving up on the outside, Grand Scooter to second. Carbohydrate is in the third, Chasin' Jenna fourth. My Flirt is fifth, Tracer sixth. Miss Super Night is seventh, Flash Paper in eighth. Ray's Cat is ninth, 57-2. They're down the backstretch. Pan's Peanut Butter continues to lead the way. Carbohydrate is fighting back in the center. On the far outside, Chasin' Jenna with My Flirt along the rail. Grand Scooter can't go on. Racing by 3/4, Pan's Peanut Butter leads the way in 127. Around the far turn, Pan's Peanut Butter on top by a good margin. Chasin' Jenna's up on the outside second. Carbohydrate third. My Flirt on the outside fourth. Looking for racing room is Super Knight there into the stretch. It's Pan's Peanut Butter on top. My Flirt closing down the middle of the racetrack. It's Pan's Peanut Butter. My Flirt up on the outside, Chasin' Jenna and Miss Super Knight. Pan's Peanut Butter, My Flirt second, Miss Super Knight was third. Here comes Yana Fish, winner of tonight's 12th race, number 10, Pan's Peanut Butter. 4-year-old bay mare by Dragon's Lair out of Buxatros. Owned in Frazeysburg by Fred Merriman, trained by Jerry Kutchback Jr., driven by Dave Hawk. Covering the mile here in 157, number 10, Pan's Peanut Butter. The winner of tonight's 10th, make that 12th and final race, and that's a couple tonight for driver Dave Hawk. Pick 3, $52.40. The final pick 3, $52.40. 10-5 exacta, $20 even. The Super, $29.42 even. Management, track announcer Robin Burns, thank you for joining us here this evening. On your way home, please drive carefully. Gates open at 12 tomorrow. Free parking and admission for full card simulcast.